We all knew it was going to happen. We wish it didn't happen, but we all knew it was going to happen. And that is the Smokey HOH, your Hall of Heroes. And for those of you that are new to the channel, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Claytano, and I do this thing called How to Rune, and I actually go over each monster individually and say what I think they're useful for, what they offer, their pros, their cons, their early game runes, substat priorities, team combinations, overall rating at the very end. And I apologize for this little piece of hair right here. It's kind of bothering me, so if it's bothering you, you could just put your hand over my face while I'm talking. So Smokey, to be honest, what is he useful for? Okay, let's be real here. What is Smokey useful for? And that is for chilling skill ups. Okay, so he's really not that bad. Okay, so if I were to be a new player and wanting to know what should I really use Smokey for, he actually shines in Necro B10, and he's really not a bad choice for a Necro B10 team. And here's why. Okay, what he offers for that Necro B10 is a whole bunch of multi-hits. He also has on his third skill here, attacks all enemies 2 times, so it's an AoE, and it decreases their attack power, disturbs their HP recovery, and that's for 2 turns, of course. His second skill has 4 hits. It's a 4 multi-hit, and it also increases the chance of dealing glancing hits. And then on his first skill, this is the main thing that you want, it reduces the attack speed and also hits 3 times. So it has everything you need in a Necro B10 monster. He is actually a really good choice. I actually made an HOH video in regards to Ran for the previous Ran HOH, and this monster would be, again, specifically for Necro B10 and would actually pair very well with a Ran as well. As far as his pros, again, he's multi-hitter, constant debuffs, and in case you keep dying and need a little bit more HP, he has a dungeon HP leader skill that he awakens into that helps you out with 33% if you need a little bit extra sustain to make your runs more specific, or not specific, more consistent. Okay? Now, what are his cons? He has low base attack for an attack monster. Once he gets up to 6-star, it's actually about 747 base attack, which is really low. Let's be honest. Okay, but aside from that, the other thing is he's not useful outside of Necro. I wouldn't use him anywhere but Necro. For his runes, early game, you can use Fatal just to get a little bit more out of that attack, and then go Blade Offset, because you're going to be running him with either crit damage or crit rate slot 4, and then attack percent on slot 2 and slot 6. The reason why is because you don't need any speed, because you're running him in Necro, and not only are you running him in Necro, but you want him to go last out of all of your monsters, so that way he can land the slow and his debuffs, so that way the boss is slowed and you can go and do more attacks before having to break through that shield another time. Okay, so having him with like 0 speed isn't the worst thing in the world, so don't worry about speed. Okay, now for late game runes, you do want to move him into Violent as his main set, then Revenge as his offset, because if he's going to be revenging, he's still going to be putting 3 hits onto that Necro boss, and it's going to be doing you a very big favor when it comes to your consistency and the speed of your Necro runs. For substat priorities, if you go crit rate slot 4, then go crit damage in your substat priority. If you go crit damage slot 4, go crit rate in your substat priority, of course. Use attack as your next substat priority, again, because he has really low attack, you want to have a little bit more attack, and then you can go accuracy and then HP. The reason why accuracy is important, because he has a lot of debuffs. You want to make sure that he's landing those debuffs for your team. Okay, team combinations, we talked about it a little bit. I would say pair him with a Ran, a Shiwa, a Hua, Zabrolta, Colleen, any of those, common Necro B10 monsters that are pretty easily obtainable. None of them are like, nat 5s. You can also pair him with a Fire Panda. Speaking of Nat 5s, that would work just fine. Some alternatives though for Smokey, I would say would be Gibraltar, because again, Gibraltar has a lot of extra hits, but I would say Smokey is probably a better option than Gibraltar if you have the two. And then you could do either Chilling or Shiwa as well, would also be pretty much what you want to do. So as far as like creating a Necro team around Smokey though, if you're going to be using him as a primary damage dealer, then you want most of your team to be fire element or light or dark. The reason being is because if one of them gets stolen, you want to be able to kill that monster or kill that stolen soul as fast as possible without having to spend too much time glancing and like trying to attack into a water monster, etc., and not being able to get back to hitting the boss. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're building a Necro team around Smokey. But overall, as far as Necro B10 goes, he's amazing. So his overall rating, I would say, would be a 3 out of 5. It's not horrible. The downside to Smokey is that he is virtually useless outside of Necro. That's why he's getting such a low rating at 3 out of 5. But to be honest, he's more useful than some Nat 5s. He really is. So, you know, it's Halloween. Yes, come to us. Thank you for giving us a little, you know, Smokey the Bandit here. But at the same time, we were, you know, you're so predictable. So predictable, come to us. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps. You know, don't trash the monster too much because it's really not all that bad. Don't give him a bad rap. Don't give the new players excuses not to farm the HOH because new players are going to be the ones that need this guy the most, okay? Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay soupy as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the soup. And peace later. Bye-bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe because really, why not? I also infest other areas of the internet like Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram, but the best place to ask me a question or just to tell me how much you hate me would be during my live stream every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there, and as always, stay soupy and don't be potatoes.